One road that runs between two counties had crews from both working cleanup after last night's storms.
More storms on the move across the area right now, and I'm tracking a heavy rain threat as we roll into the next few days. That's coming up.
Dozens of homes evacuated in Lexington because of a gas leak. We'll have the latest.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. Storms are firing up across the region, and some of them are strong. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington, where it's dry and 84 degrees right now. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender. And Chris, some of these storms are packing a punch.
Yeah, they really are, Jennifer. Similar to the storms we were tracking last night, a ton of lightning and a ton, and I mean a ton, of heavy rain out there. Let's get straight to it on Defender to show you some of those clusters that are today mainly centered south of Interstate 64. Last night, a lot of that action was along and north of 64. Well, today, most of that again coming out of southern Kentucky. Very intense thunderstorms, Campbellsville, Lebanon, Marion County, over into Liberty, here across the Casey County area, trying to sneak into Stanford and Lincoln County. Look at all the lightning strikes just in the past 15 minutes. Again, watch for some local high water issues. Where some areas have already picked up better than an inch or two of rain here into southeastern Kentucky. Thunderstorms are very slow movers here from Manchester across parts of Leslie County into sections of the hazard area around Perry County too. And we've been watching this little cluster of storms, Breathitt, McGoffin line, and points to the west from there, trying to ramp up a little bit. Areas north of 64, not so much. Actually a pretty decent weather day, though we're still on guard for a isolated shower storm trying to pop over the next hour or two. We've got a front that is stalled out through the area. Big wave of low pressure moving eastward along that boundary, and already we have flash flood watches out for Wednesday night through Thursday. Jennifer, when I come back in a few minutes, I will track that high water threat straight ahead.
Thank you, Chris. Some Central Kentuckians are cleaning up from another round of storms. The emergency management director in Bath County is surveying damage there after reports of mudslides and flooded roads. WKYT's Victor Puente is there with our top story at 4.
The road behind me runs from Montgomery County into Bath County. Road crews from both counties had their hands full last night dealing with the aftermath of last night's rain. Here in Montgomery County, Stepstone Road was washed away. Crews had to lay down gravel to fill in the gaps until a permanent fix could be made. Large chunks of Quisenberry Road were washed away into the creek. And a few miles up Stepstone into Bath County, a mudslide closed the road. That earth was pushed aside, but the road remained closed so firefighters could wash away the mud. The director of the emergency management agency there said the heavy rain was more than the creeks could take, and road crews and firefighters had to spend the night clearing debris from the roads.
The storm was pretty resilient. It didn't let up the rain, but when it did, the waters receded quickly, thankfully.
Dispatchers told me that between the two counties, they had 3 different incidents of people getting their vehicles stuck in high water and having to be rescued. In Montgomery County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Bath and Montgomery County had 5 inches of rain yesterday. Dispatchers also tell us they had several trees down near the Montgomery County 911 Center. Northern Kentucky also has damage from last night's storms. These eyewitness pictures are from the Germantown Fair in Mason County. Several tents were blown down last night. No injuries are reported. The Judge Executive's office tells us all the damage at the fairgrounds has been cleaned up and the fair is open today. We'll show you more of the damage on WKYT News at 5. Help could be on the way for victims of last month's flooding. Governor Steve Beshear has requested a federal disaster declaration for Carter, Johnson, Rowan, and Trimble counties. Strong storms caused flooding from July 11th through the 20th and killed 4 people. AT&T customers in Lexington and other places are reporting service outages right now with their cell service. WKYT has put in calls to AT&T to try to find out the cause of the outage and how long before service is expected to be restored. So far, we do not have an answer from them. We'll update the story as we get more information. A gas leak in Lexington forced at least 20 homes to be evacuated today. It happened about noon at Oak Hill and Locust near Castlewood Park. Lexington police say a crew working on a sewer hit a medium pressure main line. Gas was turned off to 33 homes. Columbia Gas is now checking each home to make sure connections are good. Columbia Gas representatives say the line has been fixed. A warrant is out this afternoon for a Kentucky truck driver who's now charged with 6 counts of vehicular homicide for a deadly crash in Tennessee. 39-year-old Benjamin Brewer of London is also charged with DUI and speeding. The crash happened outside Chattanooga on June 25th. Chattanooga police issued an order for Brewer's arrest. An NTSB preliminary report finds Brewer had been on duty for about 50 hours in a row in the 3 days leading up to the deadly crash. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. A Lexington mother accused of giving her 5-year-old child a deadly dose of vinegar appeared in court this morning for a hearing. Dee Adams is charged with reckless homicide. Her 5-year-old son died in December of 2011. The coroner says the boy had been given a lethal amount of vinegar. The defense is trying to stop an expert witness for the prosecution from testifying during an upcoming trial. We'll have more on what happened in court ahead on WKYT News at 6. Search teams have returned to the Red River Gorge to look for a missing Madison County man. Today, more than 300 missing person flyers were handed out at businesses and to other campers. Family members say 31-year-old Josh Adkins took off from the Coomer Ridge campground Saturday night just before his family was supposed to leave. They say Adkins suffers from mental illness. Firefighters from Lexington and more than a dozen other agencies are helping in that search. 2 Pulaski County football teams are hoping their new fields will be usable by the start of the season. Plans had called for both Pulaski County High School and Southwestern High School to receive artificial turf surfaces. The new turf was too expensive for both, so the school board voted on a compromise to put sod down on both football fields as a cheaper solution. We'll tell you why that new solution might prove to be a problem for the start of the season. That's coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. That is a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. In New Hampshire, investigators are inspecting what's left of a circus tent that came down in a fierce storm, killing a father and his daughter. About 100 people were watching the circus performance yesterday in Lancaster when the storm hit with 60-mile-an-hour winds. More than 30 people were hurt. Authorities say a severe thunderstorm warning was issued for the region just before the show started. The battle over the future of government funding for Planned Parenthood may not be over. Senate Republicans fell short on a procedural vote on legislation to defund the health care provider last night. But an anti-abortion group releasing undercover videos promises more will come. Ryan Nobles has the latest on the controversy.
What started as a series of controversial undercover videos has turned into a full-blown battle in the halls of Congress.
The Senate will be in order.
Monday, a Republican effort to defund Planned Parenthood failed to get enough votes to overcome a Democratic filibuster, setting the stage for a much bigger battle over government funding in the fall.
The only way to get rid of Planned Parenthood money for selling off baby parts is to shut the government down in September. Would you support that?
Well, I can tell you this, I would.
That's Donald Trump on conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt's show, calling on Republicans to shut down the government if Democrats don't agree to defund Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood argues these undercover videos are heavily edited and are being used as a deceptive pawn in a political battle over abortion.
We're seeing here are attacks on people's ability to get health care. We're seeing attacks that are intended in their end analysis to get rid of safe legal abortion in this country and destroy Planned Parenthood.
The Center for Medical Progress is the anti-abortion group behind the videos. On Tuesday, it released a 5th video that claims to show a Planned Parenthood official discussing the sale of fetal tissue.
You're going to see evidence in it of how Planned Parenthood is actually willing to sell fully intact fetuses to buyers of aborted fetal tissue.
Planned Parenthood continues to deny that they profit in any way from the sale of fetal tissue, but this battle seems to be far from over. In Washington, I'm Ryan Nobles reporting.
Up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A down day on Wall Street. The Dow dropped 48 points to close at 17,551. The Nasdaq lost 10 and the S&P fell 5. Citigroup is under investigation for its student loan servicing practices. According to a filing with the SEC, the bank could be forced to pay back money to customers. Citigroup says it's cooperating with the investigation. Cold brew coffee is the hottest craze, and Americans are willing to pay more for it. Starbucks, Peet's Coffee, and Guy & Gallard are just some of the companies offering cold brew coffee this summer. It's made with more coffee beans than regular iced coffee. That means coffee companies can charge more for it. It could also give a jolt to coffee demand. The beverage wars are more competitive than ever, with new trends hitting stores every day. But one drink is emerging as the best seller, and it may surprise you. Weijia Jiang reports.
If there's one thing Greg and Michelle Neese don't agree on, it's what to drink.
I think about drinking water, but the Coke goes down, tastes really good. I may follow it with a glass of water, but Coke goes first.
The older I get, the more weight I gain, so it is kind of a conscious effort now to kind of cut back on sodas and drink more water.
More Americans are ditching soda and buying bottled water instead. The Beverage Marketing Corporation predicts by 2017, water sales in the U.S. will surpass carbonated soft drink sales.
It's the biggest phenomena volumetrically in the beverage industry over the last 30 years.
Michael Bella says it's also the most unexpected trend because 30 years ago it was hard to find bottled water. Now it's everywhere.
Phenomena was, what is happening here? Why would anybody pay for a commodity that's free from the tap?
But he says times have changed and all types of water are selling well, from high-end sparkling water to enhanced water and seltzer.
People are now also much more concerned with what they put in their bodies, and water is pure.
Bella says it's not clear when water's popularity will peak. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, New York.
Thank you, Don. There's a new way in Lexington to experience great musical talent in a casual, family-friendly atmosphere.
Yeah, we got a little peek of it a minute ago. Deanne Stevens out and about today from Moondance Amphitheater with more. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon, everyone, from Moondance Amphitheater, where they are planning a very special event happening this weekend. It's the first time they're doing this. Opera Under the Stars, Parks and Rec's putting it together. Patrick Martin is with us, and you guys are super excited about all these fabulous opera stars you're bringing in.
We have 5 singers, all students or alumni of UK Opera Theater, performing greatest hits from opera.
And it's happening here at the Moondance Amphitheater, which is a fabulous venue for something like this.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. As Councilman Bledsoe said once, it's wonderful to unite it's wonderful to unite the purity of the arts and the purity of nature all in one setting.
It definitely is. Okay, so who are folks going to hear this weekend?
This weekend we'll hear from sopranos Charisse Arnold and Gabrielle Barker, mezzo-soprano Sarah Klopfenstein, and tenors Jonathan Parham and Zachary Morris.
All right, speaking of Zachary, we have a special little treat for you guys. This is Zach, who will be performing for Opera Under the Stars.
Jour et nuit, je me mets en 4, au moindre signe, je m'aide. C'est tout comme si je chantais, encore un an si je chantais. De ce mépris, il lui faudrait rebattre. Je chante seul, quelquefois, mais chanter ne pas commode. Tra la 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 la, ce n'est pourtant pas la voix. Tra la 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 la, qui m'a fait défaut, je crois. La 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 la.
Opera Under the Stars happening here at Moondance Amphitheater Saturday night. Coming up at 4:50, how you can go ahead and get your tickets. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A government task force says there's not enough evidence for or against recommending autism screening for young children who don't show any symptoms of the disorder. The finding applies only to children under the age of 3. The panel says parents who do have concerns about their child's development should talk to their child's doctor right away. Researchers in Finland found men who became a dad by the time they were 22 had a 26% higher risk of death in midlife than those who'd fathered their first child when they were 25 or 26. The primary causes of death were related to heart disease and alcohol. Researchers suggest the combined roles of parenthood and breadwinner could cause young men to significant stress that could affect their well-being. Even a little physical activity goes a long way toward lowering the risk of death among people over the age of 60. Researchers in France found seniors who did just 15 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise a day experienced health benefits. More than half of people over 60 say they do not practice any regular physical activity. Walmart, Amazon, and other major retailers have agreed to stop selling lifelike toy guns in New York. The companies will also pay $300,000 in fines. An investigation by the state attorney general found from 2012 to 2014, thousands of toy guns sold in New York violated state laws, which require that toy guns be brightly colored and not black or aluminum. Forget McMuffins, McDonald's is now testing out a newer, fancier breakfast choice. In an attempt to move away from its fast food image, the chain has started serving gourmet breakfast in Australia. The new menu includes Belgian waffles, corn fritters, and avocado toast. No word yet on whether the new breakfast menu will make its way to the U.S.